Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Saturn Slam review in a timely fashion.
Wow.
First
Who
time
never thought
ever.
that could happen?
Yeah, first time ever. And really, there's no reason why it hasn't happened before other than forgetfulness slash laziness pervasive between the two of us. Uh, but not on this day. So, we're less than 48 hours removed from watching both of these shows, so we will actually remember things, and it'll be good. Probably.
We
All
were
right.
drawn out of it because, oh man, let's start with NXT because that was,
Yeah.
oh boy.
This was a good weekend of wrestling. NXT was awesome. Survivor Series was, like, if you chop off the main event, it was one of the best pay-per-views ever. Or certainly that's WWE's put on in a long time. And that was like 3 hours right there. So if you just ignore the fourth hour of Survivor Series, great show. But we'll get to that later. So we start off NXT Takeover War Games with Lars Sullivan versus Cassius Ohno. I gave this match 2 3/4 stars. It is the very definition of a mean guy match. Let's see what I
Yep.
wrote here. You could do this match 100 times, and I don't think it would have come out any better. Sullivan dominated out of the gate and made Ono look like a small baby man. Ono made something resembling a comeback with a variety of stiff shots to Sullivan's head, and they all sounded like they concussed him, but he was unfazed, so obviously not. They had little effect on Sullivan, and he just beat him up some more. Ono made another comeback, and this time he hit multiple discus forearms and a wicked spinning big boot that took the monster off his feet. Sullivan made the greatest fucking face in the history of mankind and
God, his face was so good during this match. Just
started screaming at KO that he would destroy him. He got up and did just that, threw KO around some more. Went for what I was told was a diving headbutt. I remain unconvinced. He missed it regardless. Ono went back on offense and went for his big spinning forearm deal, but Lars popped him up with the greatest of ease, hit his finish, which I guess is called the freak accident, and pinned him.
I like it. Yep, that was 2.5 stars. Like we saw this match, and just at the beginning of the night, it was a good omen. It was
Yeah,
a little,
it was
little drip of good.
solid opener. It was exactly what it needed to be. It was it was a lot like Brock and Goldberg from WrestleMania, where they just went out there in a dead sprint and hit all their they got all their shit in, and then went home.
hmm Yeah, and I think we called this one that Lars would have this, right?
Yes. So
And it was one of the few that we called right.
this was not a banner weekend for us predictions wise. We did okay on this NXT show. Actually, no, that's a lie. We did not do okay on this
No, we
NXT
didn't.
show.
They pleasantly surprised us.
Right. So that led to what many are calling the match of the night, and I would be hard pressed to disagree with them, but I will. Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream. I gave this 4.5 stars. Holy fuck, this was great. Both guys came out of this looking like stars. They started off, and Black is just making Dream look silly. He's wrestling circles around him, going from a hammerlock to hammerlock, and go behinds and stuff like that. He puts him in an octopus armbar at some point. This frustrates Dream, and he goes outside. Black does his deal where he runs and does the fakes the dive and does the moonsault off the bottom rope into his taunt. Dream came in and mimicked him to try to get on his nerves, and then Black flipped it around and mimicked Dream's taunt, and it was
It
then
was
they
mind
started
games
yes.
everywhere.
Then they started to fight, and it was awesome. They traded big moves. Black hit this wicked knee that would have made me proud. Dream hit his cartwheel Death Valley driver. He went for the elbow. That got countered, and he got hung up in the ropes, and Black taunted him for a bit. And then Dream hit the craziest fucking DDT you'll ever see. It was like he reached behind him and did this like full 270-degree twist and just spiked his head right into the mat. I've never seen anything like it before. But it was really freaking cool. They traded some more big moves. Aleister Black hits Black Mass and pins him. Match was great. Crowd was going crazy at this point. They were all chanting "Say his name," and then he materialized the microphone out of nowhere.
Just pull it out from between his legs.
Yeah, I think we were led to believe he had it in his trunks the entire time. And he says, "Enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream." Says his name, looks him dead in the eye. Place goes freaking nuts, and it was a great story to the match. Dream earned his respect, and he's got a bright future, this Velveteen Dream kid, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Really good. He's only 22 years old. He's younger than we are. So he could be a staple for the next 10 years and then be Roman's age.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy. Like, this feud feel like it came out of nowhere, and it was like nuclear fusion. We just got two like explosive stars coming out of this.
Yeah.
I mean, we already knew Aleister Black was good.
Yeah.
But now Velveteen Dream is on the map in a big way.
Yeah. Very good impression in his first Takeover match. Yeah, you look forward to seeing more from him. Based on what happened in the NXT title match, I could see Aleister Black being next in line to challenge for the title, which would be interesting because I don't think you want to beat. I think Aleister Black's a guy you should give the Asuka treatment to and have him come up to the main roster undefeated, which is complicated if you don't want him to have the NXT championship for very long. But I don't really see. It'd be weird to do Adam Cole versus, the winner of the title match here. But we'll see. We'll get into that later. We'll speculate when the time calls for speculation. We had the women's fatal four-way: Kairi Sane versus Ember Moon versus Peyton Royce versus Nikki Cross. We did have Black winning that one, so we got one right there. This match was fine. It was sloppy and it felt a little bit rushed. It felt like this was a 20-minute match they tried to do in 15. There were some neat spots, like when Ember caught Nikki Cross trying to do a Hurricane Rana and powerbombed her on the outside. Should have hit the apron, but it was cool. It was cool regardless. Peyton hit an absolutely beautiful perfect plex in the ring for a near fall. Kurt Hennig would be proud. Kairi hit her big elbow onto Peyton and Nikki, but Peyton had Nikki pinned for a solid 15 seconds. The ref was even checking the shoulders. But, botches like that will happen, I guess. It looked like Peyton was going to steal the win, but then Ember snuck up from behind and hit a double eclipse for the pin and the victory. Asuka came out to present Ember Moon with the belt. Some people were thinking that this was an angle. It was going to set up something between the two of them, but I think it was just kind of passing the torch.
Wholesome wrestling.
Which, I don't have a problem with Ember winning, but she's the undeserving champion, right? Now, because she only won the belt because the girl who had it before left. It's like a Daniel Cormier, John Jones situation where Cormier could only win the belt when Jones got suspended. He never beat the champ. So it would have been better because no matter anyone who won this match would be in that position. So why not give it to the, chicken shit heel and have her be the undeserving champion, like eke out a victory or two and then drop the belt to Ember at Takeover New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the worst. Like I'm just interested to see how do they make this work. You know,
they're a little thin on heels in the women's division. Like, who do you get? Nikki Cross is kind of a heel, I guess. Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and that's it. Unless you get Shayna Baszler in there at some point, or I guess what's her name? Shit, I can't. She's wrestling Ruby Riott next Wednesday. I can't remember it though. Something DeVille, I think. Sonya Deville, maybe. That sounds right to me.
We'll take it. Take 12.
So that's still not many heels, and I don't think DeVille is ready to challenge for the women's championship. So we'll see how they book this.
Hmm.
You know, this is the first time NXT and I have ever disagreed on a major booking decision. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see who's right.
Yeah. This was a 3 for me. 3 stars.
Yeah, I think I said I gave it 3.25. It was okay, but nothing exceptional. Andrade Cien Almas versus Drew McIntyre. This match was very, very good. Um, a lot of people. There was 3 matches on this card that you could legitimately argue were match of the night. They were all above 4 stars. It was just a very good night of wrestling. So this night we'll look back on this night and say this is the night that WWE made its next big Latin star. Uh, Almas, I don't know what it was with Almas tonight. Maybe it's because he knew he was getting the belt, or maybe it's because he felt he had something to prove. But he worked better in this match than I've seen him work ever in NXT. And Drew similarly was on his A game. He worked better than I've seen in a long time. Andrade worked Drew's arm for a lot of the match during the heat. They traded a bunch of moves. At one point, Andrade went outside to grab the championship to distract the ref, and Zelina came in and did a Spike Rana DDT thing. And then Andrade came back in, hit the hammerlock DDT for a near fall that fooled everybody, us very much included.
Yup.
But Drew would kick out. He came back, hit a Claymore kick that turned almost inside out, did the full flip bump. That was one of the greatest sells you will ever see. He went for the pin. Zelina was just barely able to get his foot on the rope. She had to reach twice because she is such a tiny woman.
You pull a chair out from under the ring to get on it.
But she got there in time. I was a little worried that he was going to have to kick out because she didn't get there in time. But it all worked out in the end. Drew went for another boot, but got crotched when Almas low-bridged him. And then he pulled him back in over the top rope and hit the Avalanche Hammerlock DDT. Now, I noted when Peter and I were watching this, I pointed out that Drew was holding on to the top rope to kind of help him out with the weight. And then he hit the move, immediately grabbed his arm. I didn't know what that was about at the time. And then the doctor and the ref were talking to him after the match. We just thought they were just kind of laughing at him for getting dicked, because I think he legitimately crotched himself. Because that was the face of a man who crotched himself. But he also may have torn his biceps on that last spot there. He's going to have an MRI later. If it is a torn biceps, that's going to mean surgery probably. I mean, it depends on how bad the tear is. Sometimes you can just, throw a compression sleeve on and hope it'll heal on its own. But if it is surgery, that's like 6 months recovery. Damn. And
that would be a sad end for such a friggin' good match.
Yeah, I think Drew was getting called up too. I think he probably would have been on Raw tonight if he were good to go. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting when Drew McIntyre gets called up to see how hard he gets pushed, because when he first was in the company, he was Roman Reigns of that era. Vince McMahon had a big old man crush on him and wanted to make him the top guy in the company. He was the chosen one. So we'll see if that feeling is still the case, and if Roman gets pushed down the guy. I don't think so. I think they've invested too much in Roman now to push him back down the card. I guess you could keep him in the Shield for a while longer. I don't think anyone would be upset about that. Which led us to War Games.
Oh.
Now this match was very, very, very good. I give that 4.25 star.
It was a 4-star match for me. Yep. This match was very, very good, but I've been told by several people, and I've gone back and looked myself. I'm inclined to agree. While it was very, very good, and it was a great match. Like, look at it in a vacuum, it's a great match. But for people who wanted
War Games as it was in WCW, you will be left a little bit disappointed because this was different. I'm not going to say it was any better or worse, but it was different. There were pins. It wasn't just submission or forfeit. You could pin people. They didn't have. It wasn't quite the same psychology as War Games, where you'd have alternating man advantages for people to come make the save. It wasn't bad. I don't want to say it was bad or anything, but if you're a big fan of the War Games match, you may be a little disappointed in the portrayal here. But other than that, it was fucking fantastic. So Adam Cole, Eric Young, and who the fuck, Roderick Strong started the match. And then they worked each other over. Adam Cole tried to stay out of it as best he can. Then the Undisputed Era came in next, and they started working over Eric Young and Roderick Strong. They got quite a bit of heat. And then the Authors of Pain were next, and the place got really excited when the Authors of Pain came in. They started running around, throwing everyone around like they were, sacks of potatoes. Then Sandy came in to even the odds. Well, Alexander Wolf came in, and he had a nightstick, and he started working over guys over, and Killian Dane walked casually down to ringside. And he was going to get in, but he had to get some gimmicks first. So he was throwing in some trash cans, some Singapore canes, some steel chairs, and the crowd's chanting, "We want tables." And Killian Dane's like, "Fuck it, I'll give him tables." So he goes and he grabs tables. He puts two of them in there. And then he gets in the match, and they all start going to work. Dane had a star-making performance here. At one point, he hit a coast-to-coast. Yes, yeah. Killian Dane hit a coast-to-coast.
It was beautiful. He was a wrecking ball in there.
Eric Young was a man on a mission. He was everywhere in this match. Every time you looked up, he was hitting someone with a move, and he wasn't even anywhere near the action.
We were shitting with each other. It's like he fucking learned instant transmission to lead up to this match. Like, you're always coming in from fucking off screen.
Yeah, it's just crazy amounts of destruction. Alexander Wolf put there was a double Tower of Doom spot. Adam Cole is sitting between the two rings, and then like everyone tries to go and superplex him, and he's holding on for the dearest of life. And then the Authors of Pain come in and powerbomb everyone down, and Adam Cole is sitting there with the biggest shitting grin on his face. Out of all that, he was the one left standing. And then the Authors of Pain started to stir, and his smile faded quickly from there. At one point, Alexander Wolf hit one of the Authors of Pain with a super German suplex through both tables and cut his head up something fierce.
God, yeah.
Bleeding. A lot of people in this match got color.
It was the Muda scale.
It wasn't quite that bad, but it was probably the closest a WWE match has come to registering on the Muda scale since they banned blading. But yeah, there's a lot of blood, and there's match peaked when Adam Cole was on top of the cage trying to worm his way around the match, and then Roderick Strong came up there to give him a superplex, and he did. He superplexed him onto everyone else, and everyone's lying down there, and there's like 4 or 5 covers going on, and I'm like, fucking count, ref, god damn it. But
it's a dog pile.
Yeah, no pin comes of that. Authors of Pain hit a super collider, squishing Killian Dane in between the two rings, and powerbombing, I think, Undisputed Era. And then it comes down to Adam Cole and Eric Young. Eric Young has a chair, and Adam Cole just runs and gives him knees the chair into his face and pins him. Kind of an anticlimactic finish. Generally, a match is supposed to build to the biggest spot. But the biggest spot was definitely that superplex off the top of the cage, and that didn't end the match, which may be a mistake, But overall, the match was great. I gave it 4 3/4 stars.
Yeah, this was a solid 4.5 star match for me. Just like as a guy who has not watched, I don't think I've seen any other war games. This was my first.
I think I
It was
saw
a
one.
playground of violence.
Yeah. I think I've seen one War Games, and it wasn't even like one of the good ones. It was like the NWO versus the Four Horsemen, featuring Steve Mongo McMichael as one of the Four Horsemen. So not exactly the all time great War Games match. I'll go back. I'll definitely go back and watch more of them after this. I'm intrigued to see how this differs from War Games of yore.
Yeah, if this brings it back, I won't be disappointed. This
Yeah,
brings war
so
games back into the
here's the
fore.
here's the thing about it is I've heard from Dave Meltzer, uh, and yeah, I guess just Dave Meltzer, and I guess the rumbling is that they're gonna have war games every November, which is stupid. I hate how they do that. I hate how October's Hell in a Cell time, and we gotta have the Hell in a Cell in October and TLC. No, they need to rebrand all these stupid gimmick pay-per-views and just do Hell in a Cell when the feud needs Hell in a Cell. Do War Games when the feud needs War Games. Do TLC when the feud needs TLC. It loses its meaning. Like Hell in a Cell used to be a rare occurrence, and there was a point in time where a Hell in a Cell match did not take place that didn't involve Triple H or The Undertaker. And then they did the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and now there's been like 80 fucking Hell in a Cell matches. And
Just put them in there.
it doesn't
Yeah.
feel special anymore. And it's worse with TLC. Oh no. Sorry about that, folks. We had some technical difficulties vis-a-vis internet and lack thereof. More specifically.
Cockroaches got into the internet cords again.
Yeah, so we finished up essentially our War Games recap here. So Survivor Series happened the next day, yesterday, Sunday. And there were 3 pre-show matches. 2 got added day of event. From what I heard, I didn't go back and watch any of them, but I have heard that they were all below your typical pre-show match level. So we'll just run through the results here quickly. Elias beat Matt Hardy with his finish. Poor Matt Hardy. Came in with such buzz about him, and now he's just a guy.
Yep.
Enzo Amore beat Kalisto to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. So his next program is probably going to be Hideo Itami. Rumor is he's getting called up to be on 205 Live. Or Neville. Rumor has it that Neville is talks are good. He and WWE seem to have mended fences, and he could be back. He could be back tonight on Raw. He could be back tomorrow on 205 Live or SmackDown. But it looks like he's going to be back.
Hooray!
Kevin
The
Owens.
king.
Yeah.
This is rightful return.
The king has returned. Rafiki. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat Breezango in what I've heard was just a nothing match. All right, so that led to the pay-per-view, and we kicked it off. Yes, kicked it off with The Shield versus The New Day. Roman Reigns jerking the current at Survivor Series. This match was a really, really good match, but I feel like, I don't know, it's weird for me to say I expected more from it, because it was good. But I feel like I maybe built my expectations up too high. This was not quite on the same level as Shield versus the Wyatt family.
Right. Because all the potential was there. Both the tag teams coming into this, like they had everything ready, and they're both bombastic workers. Something was there. It's there. It just hasn't caught yet. The spark hasn't caught, and maybe I don't know what's Mania. When's Mania?
April.
I always forget these. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's too long, too far away. But I
Well,
feel like if they got another chance to like have another match, I feel like they could just make it like an order of magnitude better.
yeah. I mean, Roman's gonna be facing Brock for the title at Mania.
All right.
I don't know what 17 are gonna be doing at that point in time, but I think they'll keep the Shield together through Mania. If they're smart, they'll do that. They might even have 17 help Roman win the title. Try to mitigate those boos because they are coming. It took a while to hit its high gear, but once it did, it was really good. There were some cool spots. There was at one point Big E got both Seth and Dean up on his shoulders for a double midnight hour. But that wasn't even the most impressive power spot. The most impressive power spot came from Xavier Woods, who got Big E up on his shoulders and then Kofi up on top of Big E. And Xavier Woods was the base of this pyramid. And Kofi hit a splash onto, I think, Ambrose, and then Big E hit a splash onto Ambrose, and then Woods did something. I don't remember which, but Ambrose, of course, kicked out because you can't pin Dean. Match got there's some cool spots traded. Seth and Dean hit their finishers on the outside. They rolled, I think, Kofi back in, and they hit him with a super triple power bomb off the second rope. That was pretty boss, and that was the finish. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. I agree with you, Peter. If they had another chance, I think they could do better. But it was not a bad match by any means.
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me. Just a very good match.
Yeah, solid opener.
Start off again.
That led to the women's elimination match. This was less good. It wasn't bad though. They had a weird thing going in these elimination matches where they would eliminate the best workers early and then leave the rest of the people to carry the majority of the match. This match was awkward in a lot of spots and just downright atrocious when it came down to Alicia and Naomi. That was like Survivor Jenna versus Sharmell tier of bad wrestling. And neither of those girls were that bad. I don't know what was the deal here, but that was just awful wrestling. They fucked up their finish, they botched spots left and right. It was ugly, folks. It was monkey butt ugly, as JBL would say. There was the Nia Jax Tamina face-off. The crowd actually popped huge for that. And then they had to start wrestling, and the crowd was less than enthused from that point on.
Nia versus Diet Nia.
Yeah, they mentioned on commentary that these two are family, which I guess is technically true. And, of course, them both being Samoans, what do? They start headbutting each other. And there's some ugly-looking offense, and it led to Nia Jax getting counted out. Becky and Bayley looked like geeks getting eliminated in the first, 3 minutes. Becky got rolled up by Bayley in the first minute, and then Bayley got pinned very quickly thereafter. Carmella did fuck all in this match. Sasha Banks had some moments. Alicia and Naomi, we talked about how they contributed to this match. It all boiled down to Asuka versus Natty and Tamina. And Asuka, after getting beat on for just a teeny bit, ran through Tamina and Natty in convincing fashion. So they did the right thing with the right finish. I'd say Asuka, her reputation probably has been salvaged at this point. If they continue to book her strong, I have to say strong because correctly, it's so obvious what the correct booking for her is, but I feel I have to specify these days. Just keep having her win, and she will get over. It's easy. It's worked for forever, and it will continue to work for forever. That led to Miz versus Corbin. I give that match 3 stars.
That was 2.5 for me.
Miz versus Corbin. I gave this a star. And my notes are Snoozeville, population anyone who happened to be watching at the time.
Oh God, this match, like even the shock twist interference was boring. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There was a lot of standing around and doing nothing.
Emphasis on standing. There is no like they did not go any variety of horizontal.
The only two spots I even remember in this match are Baron Corbin hitting a deep six and the end of days on both Curtis Axel and Miz, and he won. So that was great. And he cut a promo afterwards where the content of the promo was good, but Corbin's delivery is just so bad that even though what he was saying was pretty, crafty, where he's like, well, my hand went up and your mouth went shut, playing off of what The Miz says. That was a good line, but he delivered it so poorly. I said to Peter after the match, he's a regular Dusty Rhodes on the mic, that Baron Corbin.
Yep. Oh.
That led to the Usos versus the Bar. The Usos.
But first, we gave that one.
Oh, yeah.
I give that a single half of a star, just for the nothingness that it was.
Right. Honestly, it deserved, probably, they did enough probably to earn even 2 stars, but I was just so fucking bored by this match. I wanted to give it no stars, but I couldn't, I felt like that would be unfair. Because there was a wrestling match somewhere in there.
Yeah. No, but as a reminder, my scale goes all the way down to -5 stars.
Yeah, you're a little more quick to dish out the negative stars than I am. The Usos and the Bar. The Usos are the best tag team on the planet right now, and if you disagree, you're just wrong. This match actually started off pretty slow. It was a pretty nothing match, and then somewhere in the middle, they started the match over, and it was straight fire from that point out. There was a crazy spot where can't even do justice to what happened, but Cesaro was going to powerbomb one of the Usos, and then Sheamus went up there as well, and there was a Samoan drop powerbomb combo thing. It was dope. You have to go and watch it.
It was magical.
The Usos did, as they said on commentary. Oh, and can we talk about this commentary booth for just a hot second here?
Oh, I forgot, and I'm surprised we didn't talk about this earlier. It should have been the first thing. Oh.
5-man commentary booth. They just put all the fucking announcers out there. And 3-man booths are bad enough, but oh my god. There was just this white noise of nonsensical bullshit over every match.
We're talking over each other at the same time. Okay, and then I could not listen to a word they were saying. I give the commentary team -1 star.
And Booker T is so out to lunch these days, just talking about shit that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't seem to know what titles the people in the matches won. He doesn't even seem to know what titles he's won. He at one point insinuated Harlem Heat was a 10-time tag champion. That would be 6 more than I ever recall them winning. He was just so bad on this show. What wasn't bad was this match, though. The commentary called them super kick parties, which is just the pettiest fucking thing they could ever do. And if the Young Bucks have that term trademarked, I suggest they rapidly send their own cease and desist. That's pretty petty. But it was cool. They hit a million super kicks, some stereo super kicks on Sheamus, and then the craziest fucking tag I've ever seen. One of the Usos does a suicide dive and in the process reaches back and tags in his brother, who hits the splash and gets the pin.
What was it? Sheamus is in the ring. Cesaro's out of the ring. Fucking, he makes a lava hot tag and then hits Cesaro on the outside, and it's the fucking double finish. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I gave that match 4 stars. It was fantastic. I'm not sure if the Usos and the Shield would have been any better, but this was fine. And Shield New Day was also really good. So I think we got the best outcome we could have had possible.
Yep.
And
Three
that
and a half, 4 stars for me.
led to Charlotte versus Alexa. These girls tried. They really did. They tried to have an epic match. They really did, but the chemistry just wasn't there. And they went on for just a hair too long, and the match suffered for it. If this were like a few minutes shorter, it may have been 3 stars, but I gave it 2 3/4. It just the only like the most memorable spot was when Alexa had Charlotte in the guillotine, and like her butt was just so like perfectly cupped around Charlotte's leg. I was staring at him like, that is the craziest butt I've ever seen. And not even like in a sexual way. It's just like shaped in such a like,
eye-catching way.
yeah, it's like if you sculpted it out of hard clay, like a human gluteus medius and maximus. That would be what it would have the same physical properties as her butt did in this match.
2 stars.
Which led to AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar.
Yes, Brock Lesnar. I didn't want to call him a fucking silly name this time.
Yes,
no
Bork Lazar, no Rock Lobster,
no Smock Mobster,
no Broccoli Lasagna. Trying to think of all the nicknames we've given him over the years, but that's, I think that may have been it. This match turned out to be really fucking good, but I was a little concerned for like the first 5 minutes here because the bell rang and Brock just started tossing AJ around like he was a small child, and I was like, oh, here we go again. Bork's going to Bork. But then AJ made his comeback, and Brock sold more for AJ here than anyone in a long time. He gave AJ more than Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
He gave AJ more than Goldberg.
It's that true respect. Like, I remember you said to me while we were watching it, like, this is probably since 2015 we haven't seen this much out of Brock Lesnar.
No, ever since his Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker, he has been just suplex F5 and cash the paycheck. But he did more than 2 moves in this match. He worked really hard. He sold for AJ a hell of a ton. There was a crazy calf crusher spot. I've seen Brock in real submission holds that he has actually submitted to in UFC, and he did not look to be in as much pain there as he appeared to be in here. He was screaming his head off. The crowd was going nuts. They thought Brock Lesnar was going to tap out to AJ Styles, and then Brock Lesnar puts his arm around AJ's head and just starts smashing into the canvas over and over and over again until he releases the hold, which is certainly one way to counter that.
I'll do it.
AJ threw everything at Brock. Phenomenal forearm off the steps in the outside of the ring. Springboard 450. He even hit a lion salt at one point in there. He went for one phenomenal forearm too many, and Brock caught him on his shoulders. He hit him with the dreaded F5, which is now the most protected finisher in the business until WrestleMania when Roman Reigns kicks out of 4 of them. But this is the Brock I want to see all the time. You know, this is good Brock. This is Brock, not Bork. And
yeah,
it just shows AJ Styles can pull it out of anyone. I saw this man have a good match with Jinder Mahal, which I was convinced was impossible after the Nakamura Jinder Mahal matches.
So phenomenal is a correct word.
Yeah, this match was really good. This is probably the best match Brock has had since 2013 against CM Punk at SummerSlam. His match with The Undertaker was really good, but this one may have been just a tiny bit better. This went 15 minutes, which is an eternity for a Brock Lesnar match. Like, I'm surprised he was able to wrestle this long without just turning into a soup.
Yeah, he got pretty beady there.
Yeah, when he was in the calf crusher, you could see this like huge water spot on the canvas where he was. He sweats a lot. I give that match 4.25 stars. Really good.
Yeah, 4.
And if you had turned off the pay-per-view here, you would have gone home very happy. But no, there was one more match that we had to go through. This men's 5-on-5 elimination match. And this match sucked for a lot of reasons. So, anyone who was a young or promising good worker was out of this match like that, with the exception of Braun Strowman. So this match started off really cool. So everyone's in there, and they're giving you all these matches you never thought you'd see. You had Randy Orton and Finn Balor. You had Samoa Joe and also Randy Orton. You had Bobby Roode and Triple H. You had Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura again. You had Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. Crowd was going nuts for all this. And then you had Canadian H, Bobby Roode versus American H, Triple H. And, the joke has been that they're alternate versions of each other. DLC skin. And they played into that because they both hit their AA spine buster on each other in their little match there. And they stole each other's talents, and that was fine. That was all well and good. And then it all went downhill from there.
Here comes the money!
Shinsuke Nakamura was in there running wild on Team Raw, and as soon as he saw that line, like, well, he's getting eliminated. And he did get eliminated by Braun Strowman, but he put up something of a fight, which is more than I can say for Bobby Roode, who got unceremoniously power slammed after he went for another blockbuster and pinned. Both Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura pinned within like 2 minutes of each other because we can't have these good workers in there. We got to get them out of there as fast as we possibly can. Then John Cena came in. Good to know Super Cena's alive and well through F5, or not F5, Attitude Adjustment, whatever the fuck it's called now. 2 to Samoa Joe, 1 to Finn Balor. Pinned Samoa Joe rather unceremoniously. They get John Cena out of there somehow. I forget exactly. Kurt Angle comes in and pins John Cena. And it came down. It was just Randy Orton and Shane McMahon on Team SmackDown. Two young up-and-comers here. Brand new stars they're making. Randy Orton goes in. He does his best, but he's getting worked over. He crawls for a hot tag, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come down, and they beat on Shane McMahon, and you think, okay, they're going to cost Team SmackDown the match. But no! Shane McMahon grabs a steel chair and makes his own comeback on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Shoos them to the back like stray cats. Beats them both up by himself. Because Shane McMahon is the real star of the match here. Shane McMahon's the top dog on SmackDown. And they eliminate Randy Orton, and it's just down. It's Shane McMahon and Triple H against Triple H, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman, and they're playing this out for a long time. Shane's just staring at them. And I'm like, someone's got to be coming out here. And for a moment, in my heart, I don't know why, but I let my heart be fooled. And I'm like, Daniel Bryan's music is going to hit, and he's going to come out and make the save. It didn't happen. Instead, we had Kurt Angle come in, put Shane in an ankle lock. And Shane McMahon is in this ankle lock for 3.5 fucking minutes. Just completely killing anyone who's ever tapped out to this move, making them look like complete geeks. Because Shane McMahon has an iron will and will not give up ever. So he's in this for 15 minutes. And then Triple H comes out and pedigrees Kurt Angle and pulls Shane on top of him. I'm like, oh, shit. He decided family's more important or some shit like that. And then he's staring at Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has the same look that everyone... Braun Strowman was the WWE fandom in this match with his facial expressions and actions. Braun Strowman had this look of like, what the fuck just happened here? And he's staring at Triple H for a long time. And then finally Shane stumbles to his feet. Triple H pedigrees Shane, pins him because he wanted the glory for himself. And then
Post-Doc and Evil.
Post-Doc and Evil. He brings Braun Strowman in the ring, and they're celebrating. He's like, yeah, buddy, we did it. We won. And Braun Strowman's still like, the fuck? And then I guess Triple H got a little too handsy for his tastes. He put his hand around his mouth, shoved him in the corner. He's like, if you ever try to double-cross me again, I will put you in the ground. And Triple H is like, well, no one fucking talks to me like that. So he goes and tries to pedigree Braun Strowman. It does not work out for him. Braun Strowman picks him up, power slams him. He decides that he has not murdered this man quite enough yet. Picks him up, power slams him again, tears off his Team Ross shirt, and walks to the back. Hero of the people, Braun Strowman. This is like his third babyface turn in as many months. But I think this one is definitively his babyface turn. We're going to have anti-authority Braun Strowman. Although, if this is leading to a Triple H Braun Strowman match at WrestleMania, there are 1,000 other matches I would rather see.
Yeah.
The rumor is that it's going to be Triple H and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. I don't have a tremendous amount of interest in that. Kurt Angle looked really old here. It's kind of sad. I've seen him in 2 matches since he's been back in WWE, and I really don't feel I want to see him in any more because he's a shell of his former self at this point. Maybe he's saving it, but I don't know. He's almost 50 years old. There comes a time where you just have to recognize that you're maybe a little too old for this stuff. But that was Survivor Series. Overall, it was a good show. That last match notwithstanding. And the whole thing was designed to get Braun Strowman over, which was a noble goal. But in the process, the only other people who looked okay were Shane McMahon, Triple H, and Kurt Angle. Median age of like 46 on those guys.
It's not where we want to put the spotlight.
No.
Methinks.
And John Cena, why the fuck was John Cena in this match? He did fuck all in this match.
He had to do shit between movies.
He should have just
Whatever
ref.
fuck
They should have kept him as a ref in the Styles Lesnar match. At least he would have
been great.
Contributed there. Anyway, it was a good show overall. Like we said, good weekend of wrestling. Definitely go back and watch the War Games match and Black and Dream, and Usos versus The Bar, and I think you'll get the Shield versus New Day too. You should probably watch that just for the fact that it's the Shield. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. We will come at you soon with a retro pay-per-view review, and then in December for Clash of Champions, and then January Royal Rumble, February whatever the Raw pay-per-view is, and then it's WrestleMania time. But that's still a ways away yet. But we're on that road to WrestleMania. We'll be there soon, and we'll talk to you after a while.